Welcome back to another episode of the worst Sonic level. Last time we tackled the Doom, so it's only appropriate that we talk about the other flashback arc level, Lost Impact. I'm not going to mince words. While I stated I remember the Doom being worse in the previous episode, my memory is terrible and failing, though it's possible I'll walk away from this video with the conclusion that Lost Impact is in fact worse than the Doom. I did play through Lost Impact's neutral mission in the previous video, and while I did have a better experience than the Doom's neutral mission, I am not under the delusion that Lost Impact is going to be a marked improvement over the Doom on any metric. However, I do expect to walk away from this level with an understanding of what they were going for. I walked away from the Doom in anger. I expect to walk away from Lost Impact with pity. This stage only has 2 missions, a neutral and a hero mission, as opposed to the 3 missions of the Doom, and boy is the hero mission infamous for a reason. We'll be starting with the neutral mission, but before we get into that, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications. I'd like to upload more regularly, but I can't do that if you guys aren't subscribing. Remember to comment down below on your thoughts, and suggest more levels you would like to see on this show. My first attempt of the neutral mission was a C rank, and was just under 5 minutes. It was more manageable than the Doom to navigate, but it also had a similar issue with the final room being unclear as to where the goal ring is, though to a lesser extent. In the Doom, the goal ring was off in the middle of nowhere on the top floor. In Lost Impact, the last area of the arc loops around, and if you aren't observant enough, like I wasn't, you run around the loop that is the last area, not realizing you're in a loop, because the rooms of the arc are too similar to one another. Again, much like the Doom, you really have to use the checkpoints if you want any indication of where you are in the level. The goal ring is off to the side, right behind one of the automatic doors. You can hear it faintly as you either walk by it or pass it by using the turret system. In the last episode, I mentioned it being easier to activate Chaos Control in this level than it is in the Doom. And while I do stand by that statement, the Artificial Chaos, which are your main methods for gaining hero meter in this stage, have a boatload of health, which makes it a bit tiresome to take down with the default weapons or homing attack. Remember how Sonic and Shadow could destroy these things with a single blow in SA2? Guess this is more proof that Sonic characters do get stronger over time.
Your abilities exceed your previous data.
Unlike mechs, I can grow. I get more powerful every second.
Second attempt of the neutral mission was another C rank. At the start of the stage, Maria's AI will make a beeline for the rings leading to the spring. And if she gets to them first, you can't use your light speed dash, which is annoying.
When the research experiments is split apart, don't you think they would...
No, Maria, no I don't. Navigating the rooms did not go any smoother on a second attempt. Getting knocked out of the turret is also incredibly frustrating.
Oh my god, I hate this meteor section.
You get stunned for a bit and then have to walk back into the turret and press a button to get back in. I remember complaining about the same thing in the shark boss fight in Sonic Frontiers. Don't knock me off. Deal damage and make me lose rings, but don't knock me over. It's such a pace breaker. If you are going to knock me over after a hit, turret or no turret, give me some kind of early recovery ability, like a tech in a fighting game. Something that gives the player the ability to get back into the action at the cost of invincibility frames. What? My third attempt of the neutral mission was a mess. Chaos Control killed me out in space, which is something that isn't supposed to happen. Chaos Control is supposed to keep going even if you run out, so long as there is nothing beneath you. It's not supposed to stop over kill planes. This is also the only attempt where something like this even happens. This meteor section, about 3/4 of the way through, sucks. I kept running into meteors, and after realizing that this attempt was going nowhere, I decided to restart. I'm still counting this as a third attempt, even though I didn't get a rank. It's on this run that I started to make a few observations. The artificial chaos attack range is deceptively long, which is aggravating, especially when you are trying to aim the heal cannon. The 19th and 20th artificial chaos are next to a bomb, but killing them by homing attacking the bomb doesn't count towards the hero gauge. You really need to save Chaos Control to skip the asteroid section, and destroying them, even with Chaos Control, fills the dart gauge, which is annoying for the hero mission because, by God, you need all the points you can get. If you destroy them at point blank, you still get hurt and knocked out of the turret because they produce an AoE explosion once destroyed. Oh, and aiming the heal cannon still sucks on this stage, by the way. Shadow's movement is too imprecise and slippery, and his targets are too small for weapons that don't have an auto lock-on feature. At least we walked away from this run with a B rank. So that's progress. Before I start talking about the 5th attempt, I want to address a mistake I made in the previous video. I thought there were fires in Lost Impact that you can spin dash, but they are actually only in the Doom. Forgive me, but you can easily see how I can make this mistake, right? These levels look so much alike. I will say this, I think with the heal cannon, the Doom's neutral mission is less frustrating to play, but Lost Impact's neutral mission still feels better designed, since it feels like there are clear points where the developers intend for you to use Chaos Control, which I managed to do for the asteroid field, allowing me to finally nab the A rank. A more frustrating experience than the Doom's neutral mission, but still a better designed one. But you aren't here to hear me talk about the neutral mission, are you? No. You're here for one of the most infamous missions in the entire franchise, Lost Impact's Hero Mission. The first attempt of the Hero Mission gave me a lot to think about. Jumping under the artificial chaos can kill them super quickly. With a good hit, you can kill them in a single jump. Never homing attack these things. The damage is lower, and your recovery frames preceding any follow-up strikes will always lead to a net loss in damage over time when compared to repeatedly jumping into them or using a weapon, which is the same strat you can use to kill giant black arm soldiers quickly without a weapon. The cargo lifts move at a reasonable speed. If you miss one, it doesn't take long for them to come back. I was stunned into silence when I saw that was the case, because this is such a common issue in pretty much every Sonic game. Hell, even this game has this exact problem in other levels. So why couldn't all the platforms be like this?
Alright, that's progress. I need to take the elevator.
Why aren't the elevators like this in the Doom?
I'm making a note of that immediately.
My praise for this stage has to be short-lived, unfortunately, since the triangle jump artificial chaos killed me, so I might as well restart. Don't put enemies with health bars in the middle of bottomless pit corridors. I should be more angry about this death, but there's a reason I'm not, that I'll explain later. Second attempt was a C rank, which I was shocked by. I was feeling really good about how the run was going. After all, I remember being in this stage for upwards of 30 minutes back in the day, so I figured 13 minutes would be at least a B rank, but there was no time bonus, which if you recall from my previous video, means they either thought this mission was fine as is, or no one had the time to do anything about it. Third attempt, much like the first, ended prematurely due to the same artificial chaos in the triangle jump hallway.
No!
fourth attempt was a B rank at 11 minutes. I was really close. I missed one early on, and hilariously, I knew exactly which one I missed, but couldn't remember how to get to it. Remember the 19th and 20th Artificial Chaos? With that bomb next to them I mentioned? Well, there's another door off to the side in this room, which leads to one of the mini rooms that was copy and pasted over and over again for the Doom, which has an Artificial Chaos inside. I missed this room because of how the prior rooms were orientated. You see, when you come into this room, your eyes will be instantly drawn to these two enemies. But once you kill them, that door may not be in view, so it's entirely possible you won't even think to go back to where you came, and follow that walkway. Fifth attempt wasn't so much an attempt as it was an intel run. I was looking for which gun boxes held missile launchers because they are as good as well-timed jumps, if not better, and are a lot easier to pull off insta-kills with, which would allow me to kill that Artificial Chaos at the end of the triangle jump hallway from a distance. At the second checkpoint, there are missile launchers, and you can also get several more near the start using the checkpoint warp system. It's at this point I realized something. After the initial dread and frustration faded away, I was starting to have fun.
You know what's crazy? I'm actually having fun now. Like, this level is still not great, but I feel like I am actually learning. I'm learning how the level is designed. It's actually designed a lot more intelligently than the Doom. For all this level's faults, for as insanely long as it is actually, you can see the hallmarks of competent level design here.
While there are still a lot of annoying design decisions, there is competent level design here. If you see a trail of rings, it's progress, so you know to go in the opposite direction for either something helpful or an Artificial Chaos. The triangle jump Artificial Chaos is annoying if you go in without a weapon, but there are ways around it built into the level. Maria is actually helpful in telling you where the Artificial Chaos is. When the Artificial Chaos start hiding, Maria will actually warn you to look in the shadows. Her advice for aiming for the head is wrong. You should actually aim slightly below them, where the water is, but once you realize that, they die rather quickly. Not only is this the first time I've ever used the game's fast travel system to switch out weapons as I need them, but unlike the Doom, Lost Impact has legitimate landmark. The rooms are still a bit too samey, but the enemy placements and enemy formations are not. And near the end, I could actually tell I was near the end because there is a moment where you feel like you are on the top floor, and there are multiple floors to jump down. There's a sense of verticality to Lost Impact's level design that feels somewhat natural, whereas the Doom felt like a really bad 3D Metroidvania level, where A-ranking the Doom made me feel empty, like I accomplished nothing. Trying to A-rank Lost Impact made me feel good, which is a sentence I never in my entire life thought I'd say. While this stage has plenty issues, by my 6th and final attempt where I A-ranked it, I could say I gained a newfound appreciation for this level, which is part of the point of this show, as I mentioned in the previous episode. At the start of this episode, I expected to walk away from this stage feeling pity, but I'm not. I have respect for what they were trying to do. And with more time, some cleanup here and there, and more variance visually from room to room, this level would have been excellent. Lost Impact Hero Mission's main flaw is first impressions. Yeah, Sonic levels are all about replaying them to get faster times and better ranks, but if your first experience with a stage is negative, why would you want to replay it? If this is your first time playing the level, chances are you'll hit the 30-minute mark, searching the entire level over and over again, looking for the one Artificial Chaos you missed in God knows where. This is a legitimate problem, and does mean that somewhere a mistake or several were made when it comes to guiding the player's hand. I pointed out in my 4th attempt how the room orientation led to me completely missing a door. However, underneath this flaw is a level that clearly had a lot of thought and effort put into it. So why does it elicit so much vitriol from players? Why do so many have bad memories of it, myself included? Beyond the first impression, there is another reason. It's placement. Assuming you're doing the pure hero route, this level is sandwiched between the hero mission of Death Ruins, which is not great. You would be going into the stage with some degree of negative feelings, and Final Haunt, which is one of the best stages in the game. This causes Lost Impact to look way worse by virtue of being near the end of a route, the follow-up of a terrible mission, and to top it all off, the predecessor to a breath of fresh air in the form of Final Haunt. I got to play this stage and the Doom in a vacuum, without any of the baggage of stages that come before or after, so that I can have the fairest takes possible. But a normal person playing for the first time back in 2005, or someone in recent times playing for the sake of unlocking the true ending, isn't going to have this luxury. That'll be it for this episode of the worst Sonic level. Next time, we'll be taking a break from Shadow the Hedgehog and going back to a classic, sort of, with Labyrinth Zone from the GBA port of Sonic 1, aka Sonic Genesis. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications if you haven't done so already. I have a Twitter you can follow, and a Discord you can join, which you can find in the description, along with my Twitch channel, where I also stream the process of capturing footage for these videos, along with other games. And if you'd like to support me financially, you can do so by participating in any sponsorship deals I'm taking over on there, along with subbing or donating. Till next time,